Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Strip Gal. This is Final Fantasy VI, and we are finishing up the Magitech facility, and then progressing on. I always forget how long this section is in general. Should have mugged that guy first. We haven't seen what his drop is. Okay, lock gained a level, which is what we wanted. And I'm guessing, yeah, we've got a ways to go. This is one of my least favorite sections in the entire game, literally. It's just a long stairway that has a really high encounter rate and goes around in circles. It's really easy to miss little pieces of it. Like that. Okay, we're gonna get to the actual facility here. There is a... is it here? No, it must be the next area. There's an item hidden off, or like just partially off screen in one of these little sections here. Now, I've understood all the other enemies. I don't understand why this section has these, like, weird lizards and... yeah, it seems weird. I understood all the Imperial soldiers and stuff. There we go, Stone Blade. Double check our Espers real quick. Still learning, still learning. Still learning. 100%ed. And let's go Kieran. Actually, you know what? It doesn't really matter. But, whatever. Okay. There's a reason we use this party a lot. Mostly the fact that Edgar and Sabin are really, really good for the first part of the game. Okay. Oh, I forgot to have him... Let's see if we can get a steal off. Yes. Okay, so this boss is vulnerable to sleep. That means we can use... so enemies, while they're asleep, won't wake up for a certain amount of time, or if they... or unless they are hit with physical attacks. You may notice that we are using specifically non-physical attacks with everyone. Yep. That was a boss. We got the ice sword, and alright, so we've got 2 more swords here. Let's double check real quick. Let's equip him with the stone blade. That works. We're good there. We see little versions of the Espers floating around, which I believe is an addition they made for this. See Sid. Got 6 more Espers there. It escalates really quickly. Find out that Kefka has been telling people that Celis is a traitor. Of course not. Please trust me. Lock. Believe me. Let me protect you for once. Maybe then you'll believe me. You see her step out. She casts Warp. Taking herself and her Imperial quote-unquote allies away. So, regarding the main character comments from earlier, sections like this are why there is even a question about who the main character is. Because at this point, there's some argument that Terra is the main character, for obvious reasons. So Sid's gonna try to talk some sense into the Emperor. We're going to save. want to apologize for all my mistakes. Oh no, it's Kefka. Okay. And now we get not only a weird Mode 7 thing, but an auto-scrolly. This is probably the worst. Probably the worst little thing of the entire game as far as the graphics go. This is actually a really good example of there's a lot of times where I've talked about overreach in graphics. One of the reasons I love the Super Nintendo is because a lot of the games are aware of their limitations. Not all the time, obviously, but most of the time, games are a little bit more aware, and they do a lot with what they have. Some good examples of this are when games try and do 3D, a lot of times there's a problem that they don't do a good enough job defining and putting contrast in. There's a lot of problem with that with some late NES games also, I've noticed. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the way that Dragon Quest 3, I want to say it is, 3 and 4, have their colored sprites, because they were trying to add more detail, but in the process they ended up limiting the palette that they had available to make it work. So the enemies are like this weird blue and white thing that has a lot less definition than the original Dragon Warrior sprite. And part of the reason for that is because that one has more black in it, more contrast. Whereas later games ended up using less black, less outlining, and tried to put more detail in with just this like blue and white sprite. Another great example is there's a port of Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy, where they tried to keep those weird rendered graphics because it was all sprite based. So they're like, well, we can do all the sprites for this. Let's just keep all of it and then use it with the on the Game Boy. The Game Boy, because of the way it looks, has this weird, awkward, grainy aspect to it for the 3D, and it looks terrible. One of my other examples I usually go to for that is Perfect Dark. I have always felt like Perfect Dark suffered a lot because they tried to make the graphics better. And it sounds weird. You know, the graphics being better is a problem, but because of the dark colors and the perpetual... what's the word? Basically, the backgrounds were complex also. So the characters are complex, the sprites are complex, the backgrounds are complex, and as a result, there's this lack of definition between the foreground and the background in it, in a lot of cases. Whereas in GoldenEye, which has decidedly worse graphics, the character sprites and the backgrounds are both simple enough that the planes don't start overlapping. There's a better outline, there's better contrast. I feel like some of the Mode 7 sections, especially this Mode 7 section of this game, are great examples of that problem. They are just these blatant overreaches where they were trying to do this cool... Like, if you look at the background here, not right now obviously, but the background with the moving train car and stuff, there's tons of good detail in there, and it looks really cool. And they could have done this whole section, like, on this rail car and just had, like this, and had enemies keep popping up, and it would have been great. But because they're on this, they decided to do this weird quasi-3D pixelated sprite Mode 7 crap. Yeah. It's one of my least favorite parts of the game. Let's see, we need Phantom. I think he just leveled up, unfortunately. Yeah. So we've got Rama. Yes, that is what we want. Definitely save here because this boss is kind of scary. This is not the boss that I was talking about being scary, just to be clear. Okay, so we lose Celis here. I feel like I got kind of off track there for a second when the graphics started. I was talking about Terra being the main, or about main characters again briefly. So Terra is usually referred to as the main character, but there's large sections of the game where she's absent. So she's a main character, but she's not a point of view character for all of it. Celis is sometimes referred to as the main character, but she's not in the beginning chunk of the game, and now she's absent again here. Locke is sometimes referred to as the main character because he's one of the most consistently in your party characters in the first half of the game, but for the second half of the game, he's absent for most of it, and has very little progression after the first half of the game. At this point, we don't have Terra or Celis. Now, that's going to change here in a minute, but the fact that there's, the two quote-unquote main characters are not in your party for sections of the game is, again, really cool. Seems like we're a bit too late. Here they come. And we see the shadow of the crane. See the screen just getting a little bit darker as they come into view. And we get to fight the crane. This did not work as planned. As you can see there, Setzer's ability is slots. It does a random effect based on what you do. The big trick here is that we are in a pincer attack, which means that if one of the cranes attacks us while we're facing away, we're in big trouble. The speedruns I've seen use Phantom there and then maintain it, but apparently that's not going to work. Okay. So yeah, they use second level magic or second tier magic and hit or have the chance for back attacks. It's kind of scary. Okay, so let's. Worried about Terra. Let's head back to Zozo. I'll explain everything on the way. Okay. Now we get to do fun stuff. One of the Magicite is reacting to Terra. Father. And we get to know more about Terra's backstory. This is an interactive cutscene where we have to control this guy. So there's two problems I have with this cutscene. So, one of the weird little things here that I don't... there's several reasons I don't like this scene. The scene itself is cool. I wish it wasn't interactive, because there's so much of it that is... that you don't get very good direction. The second thing is... magic sparkles are a thing, apparently. So yes, the second thing is the fact that none of the Espers that get talked about here are ones that exist. I think it would have been cooler if like Ifrit and Shiva were there. Okay, and we see Gestal. Marching in and trying to capture Espers. We're gonna put up the gate. This is the reason that they put up the gate, the magic seal. Madeline gets upset and runs out because people are talking crap about her. This is the part that always annoys me because it seems like you should go right there. And it's not. It's this really convoluted little path. Tara gets pulled out, along with the rest of them, and the gate gets sealed. Fascinating. And while Gestal's not as crazy as Kefka, he's still pretty evil. Just saying. Okay. Tara returns to normal. Madeline, one of the Espers we got, is her. She's now set as her father. Okay, so Tara suggests we check in with Narsh, since we abandoned them. Basically. Or since Cyan and Gao abandoned them, at least. Okay, and at this point we get a little side thing. Setsu says, "Oh, by all means, take a turn at the wheel. Let me teach you how to fly." Okay, so we've got a bunch of options here as to where we could go. I believe we're going to... Yeah, let's go get Mog quick. Let's see, Narsh should be around here somewhere. We are going straight back to Narsh. That is... That's Zozo. That's the desert where Figaro would be, so it should be like right here. There we go. This next section is still open world. It's not gonna get... We're not gonna have to go immediately to where it said. Bannon suggests that we open the sealed gate, which is an interesting choice. Okay. Really? Okay, so we're going to go get Mog. Walk in here. There's a thief. He runs away. We follow him. This is where we fought Kefka. And we find out he has a Moogle hostage. Just comes, take a step closer and the Moogle gets it. So the trick here is you have to stand still. And Mog starts wiggling, which we find out is dancing. And now we have a choice to either get the gold hairpin or Mog. You can talk? And we get Mog. We find out Rama was showing up in his dreams. And the lone wolf jumps off a cliff rather than... Yeah. So, I have another carry question that I'm going to offer now. As I said before, or if this is your first video, I took some random questions. Excuse me. And from my Facebook and from comments, and have been kind of going through and answering them as we go through the game. And one of the questions, and is thematically appropriate for the time, is why is Mog the best? And this is another one of those questions that Carrie gave that was very much directed as far as clarifying an answer rather than actually asking the question. But that's okay. So, I don't think Mog is the best, but Mog is pretty awesome. The obvious answer is because he's adorable. The second obvious answer is that when we get to the second half of the game, we're going to be able to get a relic for him called the Moogle Charm. And wearing the Moogle Charm completely negates random encounters. So there are sections of the game that are really obnoxious, and we are going to literally just walk through them with no encounters. As far as a character goes, there's some neat stuff. Mog is actually very, he's one of the highest magic power characters in the game. He's one of the fastest characters in the game. So stat-wise, he's actually decent. And he's fairly useful. The downsides to him are his equipment pool is very limited, and his special maneuver, Dance, continues after you do it once. Okay, let's see what the bidding is. Okay. There's one. There are 4 items here that we're going to get. So yes, Mog is actually very good overall. That's basically where we're going with that. I actually really do like using him. He's not my favorite person to use as a magic user. Typically, the 3 female characters end up better because they get special equipment that boosts magic. It's pretty straightforward. But he's useful at times. He's neat. Didn't we already get that? Does that one just keep showing up? Mer. Yeah, we already got it. Okay, let's see if this is right. Looks like no. Ugh. Unfortunately, the item that's up for auction is random. There's another Magicite. Like, the fact that there's another Esper for sale here seems like we should go get it quick. Nope. Give me a moment while I look up my questions here. Those are a bit longer. Okay, we're gonna go with the next question, which here on the list is another Carrie one. She asked a lot of questions, which is fine. I wanted stuff to talk about. How often is saying good morning a lie at the beginning of my videos? Is it because it's not morning, or is it because it's not good? Well, it's often a lie. It was not this time, but it often is. The videos that I post during the week are most likely done at about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. The ones I post on the weekends, I usually get up on Saturday and will record a couple videos in the morning, so there's a fairly high chance that that is the case. As far as whether it's good or not, recording games helps me relax. It's something I enjoy doing, so I'd say most of the time it is still good if it is morning. There are times where I'll try and force myself to do a video because I feel like it's a good idea, and then it ends up being, you know, Castlevania. And I realize it was a mistake because I had a long day at work, and then I go and get frustrated further. So yeah, typically the morning part is a lie, but it's about, I mean, I do record a lot of them on Saturday mornings, so Saturday and Sunday mornings. I mean, I continue on throughout the day usually after that, but I'm just saying. Let's see, next question. By the way, this one is totally not something you can get. Next one, let's say another random Carrie question. Was the dress blue or gold? And the correct answer to this question is, I don't care. I think the fact that stuff like this, like the dress conversation, was such a big deal and went on for as long as it did is ridiculous, and it's an example of how inane some of the random news stuff in our society is, while important things get completely ignored. So that's my answer. And apparently answering that question was what we needed. Because there's our next Esper. Perfect timing. So we've got a couple more Espers now. We are going to have section here where we're going to be able to level up a bit. A little bit of a grind, and some more just fetching. It's kind of what you do when you get the airship in most games. You fetch. I can't remember if... I think it's this one. This Sen. This is another Esper we're gonna get. So this guy stole this glowing stone, and we get Seraph. Poison, Darkness, and Zombie. Okay. I know I stole 2 of those. Just checking out kind of where we're at as far as money goes. $25,000. Okay. So we're not in a terrible spot, and we've actually got some really great sections coming up. Actually, I think there's something in the... I want to say there's something in the armor shop here. Nope, I'm wrong. And we'll check here real quick. Moonring, Boomerang. Boomerang is actually better than the Moonring, so let's go ahead and grab that. We are probably not going to be using Setzer much for the next section. He gets better once we get some items from him, but his item pool is fairly limited, and his stats... He's very much a jack-of-all-trades character. Doing a little bit of debate here. I'm trying to remember where the good section to go to is. I think it is. Sorry, there's just kind of weird thing we're going to be doing coming up here. And I'm trying to remember where we want to start. I may need to pause to go look it up because I don't want to end up having to do the whole section. It is rather lengthy if you aren't careful. I want to say, is that South Figaro? Or Nikia? South Figaro, yeah. So Nikia should be here? Here. I believe this is where we want to go. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we're going to I'm going to double check before we actually do this, because I do want to make sure. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to unequip all party members. I'm trying to remember if that actually unequips Espers. Looks like it does. Which, by the way, just for the record, that means we now have, 15 Espers, where we had 4 a very short time ago. Zone Seeker is very important because it has that magic +2. And I believe, is it Bismarck? Yeah. Has strength +2, which is also really good. We're gonna go ahead and come up with a party. Unfortunately, Mog's really high level, but we do want to use him for this, because we're going to be hunting down specifically things that help him. Let's go lock. Because we are trying to get money still. Build shield. Priest Smiter. White dress. Mithril vest. Green beret. Mithril shield. Mithril spear. Boomerang. Mithril shield, twist headband, ninja gear. Earrings, hero ring, earrings, so Hermes sandal. We'll give him Knight's Code and Hermes sandals. And we're going to leave him with his standard of Thief Bracer Brigand Glove. Spells. Here is starting with Zone Seeker. We're going to give Mog Kieran, I believe. Cyan, we want... Actually... How's Locke doing on Ifrit? Yeah, we'll have him go Ifrit still, and we'll have Cyan go Bismarck. Maybe. Actually, wait. Seraph's way better and way faster learning times for the good spells. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So I know what I'm doing, I just need to make sure that I'm doing it right. So we are going to take a break here. And then we'll do a little bit of farming for Mog's special ability. Hopefully you're still enjoying these videos. If you are, please give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one.